Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a specific plan for this video, but there's a reason because of that. There's a reason behind that. But I have a general idea of what I want to talk about, and that's just letting things go. And letting go of control. And just letting go in general. Because I have a problem, the reason why I made this video in the first place is I have a problem with trying to control every aspect of my life. Because I think I know what's best for me, and I don't. And neither do you. You don't know what's best for you either. You might like to think that you do. That's just your ego talking. You don't. I promise. Okay? You might think that you know exactly how your life should go and the things that are best for you, and you don't. Okay? For example, I had a lot of stuff to do yesterday. I had, you know, like appointments to go to and things to pick up and things to do, whatever. So I planned every little altercation that I was gonna have. I was like, I'm gonna wake up at this time, I'm gonna go here at this time, and then after I'm gonna go here, and then whatever. And it didn't end up happening like that. And because of that, I started stressing out. Because I was like, it's not going how I planned it to go. But of course, at the end of the day, everything worked out. It always does, right? Every single time. It always works out. We know that. It's been proven time and time again. But the problem is we like to get in the way of ourselves by trying to predict what's going to happen, trying to plan out every little detail of our lives when we don't have control over that at all. Not even in the slightest. We don't have control of what has happened to us. We don't have control of what's going to happen to us. We don't know. And that's fine. Whether you're religious, whether you're spiritual, whether you don't care about any of that stuff, there is an outside factor that is controlling our lives that isn't us. We have a purpose for being here, and we have a life path ahead of us that we don't know. Something or someone or whatever has already planned this out, and we have no idea what it is. And we're not meant to know what it is, because if we knew what was happening, obviously, what is the point of that? What's the point of that? There's no point to that. Yeah. so yeah, just, you also gotta trust. That's a huge part, is just trust that the things that you are going through are happening for a reason, and the things that you are going to be doing are going to be what's best for you and what's in your highest good. For example, one thing that we like to control a lot, I've had this in the past, is I like to control or think that I know who's best for me, or somebody that I'm with, or somebody that I'm friends with. I think that there's been times where I think, oh, this person is going to be with me for the rest of my life. And we're going to be together forever, and it's going to be great, and they're so amazing for me. And yeah, that was obviously not the case. That was obviously not the case. Because one, people change. People change, you change, it's a part of life, and you're going to have to learn to let go of people who do change, and to learn how to let go of people yourself. Meaning you are going to have to learn to break off friendships or break off relationships on your own because you know that it's not fulfilling you, or you know that it's not leading you to your highest good. And it's going to be really challenging because you can cut off someone who's not good for you, but you can still care about them. You can still love them and be like, but we're not aligned anymore. We're not kind of on the same level. Not meaning that they're above you, but meaning that you're kind of in a different place in your life where you have different expectations from your friends. You are into different hobbies than your friends. You're into different, you know, talking about different things. And a big part of that is having to tell someone and make it not personal. Because it's not about them, it's about you. It's about you growing as a person and realizing that you don't connect with the same people that you used to connect with. You don't see the same perspectives that they used to see. And it's something that happens a lot. And it's been happening a lot in my life too, where I've been cut off by certain people. I've had to cut off certain people. And it's hard, obviously, because one, you really do care about these people majority of the time, you know, and letting go of someone isn't always easy, but that's always what's best for you, is learning that the time that you had with them was the time that you had, and you're moving on. But that also means that you're going to be meeting new people and new relationships and things like that, and that's something to look forward to. See, this is what I mean that I didn't have a plan. Like, I'm kind of like, there's parts where I'm like, I don't know what to talk about, but I know I'll get to something. Let me think. Another part of letting go of control, see, I got it. Another part of that is it's good to have plans and to have goals and to have ambitions to strive for in your life and to have dreams and things like that. But it's also good to not have certain expectations about those dreams or those goals or whatever it may be. First of all, you don't know how those things are going to come about. You have no idea. You don't know when they're going to happen. You don't know how they're going to happen. You don't. And also, your dreams can change. Your motives can change. Your purpose can feel like it changes because we change as people. So obviously the things that we want, the things that we once thought we wanted can change. Like, I don't know how many times I've had conversations with people who go to college and they major in a certain subject and they have this plan to do this job, but then they do the job and they actually hate it. And then they're like, okay, well, what do I do now? Kind of thing. Because they thought that that's what they wanted and it turns out they didn't. Or maybe at one point they did want it because that's the dreams that they had at that point in time. But then over time you change and you experience new things and you experience new jobs and new opportunities and things and you have a shift. You shift all the time. Growing up, you're always shifting. Your mindset, your body can shift, your perspectives can shift, your opinions can shift. You're always changing. And with that, your plans can change. Your friends can change, your environment can change, things are always changing, and you're always developing and growing. And by letting go of expectations and control and realizing that you're not even in control of the things that you can change either. Like, change this happens, it just happens. It happens all the time. And you have to come to terms with that because it's never gonna stop. It's always gonna keep changing and you're always gonna keep growing and things are constantly changing around you. Another thing about control is realizing the difference between things we can or cannot control. And when it comes to outside factors, it can be pretty obvious, like other people or outside environments or worldly problems and stuff like that. But when it comes to like internal things and yourself, a lot of the things you can't control that you may think you can. For example, your emotions, you can't control those. You know, when they come up and you have these bodily reactions, that sounds weird. You have these physical reactions to them. You can't control those, but you can control how you react to them. And by learning what certain things mean and how you react to certain parts of yourself or like certain triggers that may trigger certain emotions to come up, you can learn to not necessarily suppress them, but learn how to cope with them and learn how to comfort yourself into realizing that what you're feeling and experiencing is normal and not scary kind of thing. But also another thing is we have control over our thoughts like 50% of the time. Maybe not even 50, maybe like less than that. For example, when you're, say, taking a test, obviously you want to try to think of things that you studied or things that your professor said in your class and you focus your attention onto that. That is a part of thinking that you can't control. However, when you're in your day-to-day routine and you're kind of like in an automatic mode, I should say, and thoughts that come up, you can't control those. I don't know why this blew my mind so much. I did not know this, but I was like, you cannot control a lot of your thoughts. Thoughts that pop in your head, intrusive thoughts, things like that. You can't control that. Isn't that crazy? Am I the only one who didn't know that? That actually blew my mind when I read that on the internet. I was like, I can't control my thoughts. And I actually got like quotes from Reddit. I was scrolling on Reddit and someone said, you are not authoring your thoughts. I think that's how you say that. If you were, you would know what you were going to think before you can think it. Like, what? And then another one was like, you are no more in control of your thoughts than you are of your breath. So it's like you can put your focus on your breath and you can breathe in and out, but majority of the time it's on automatic mode and it's just doing it itself, kind of thing. Like, you know? And then there's another one that said, the mind is like the eye. You don't control what you see, but you do control where you cast your gaze. So yeah, in a sense, you do have control of what you think, but you don't have control of how, you know, I think you understand what I'm saying. I'm not going to try to explain this in a different way. But when it comes to your thoughts, a lot of your thoughts are built by your past experiences, by our social lives, by advertising and marketing schemes, like things that are just literally like slapped in our faces all the time to make us think about certain products or certain whatever. Like when it comes to, say, I don't know, makeup ads or magazines or whatever, and showing people certain images of women or men or whatever with perfect physiques and edited photos and a full face of makeup glam, whatever, it makes us think we need to look like that. And we don't. But that's a marketing scheme. Or when we see people like looking super fit in like a Gymshark outfit, it makes us think, oh, like I would look super fit in a Gymshark outfit, or I should, if I'm working out, I should be wearing Gymshark or whatever. And that's for like any sort of advertising, which is like kind of crazy how psychologically invested these companies are in their customers. But yeah, like, or even when we're scrolling on the internet and we look at posts on TikTok, they're literally going to be in our brains. Or if we're watching a certain content creator, we start to pick up on their lingo because we watch them all the time. For example, I started watching Casio and I'm like obsessed with his videos. Like I'm obsessed with watching him play horror games. And I started picking up on the things that he said. Like I don't know, I can't think of an example right now. But like I start having quotes that he would say because I watch him so much. And I start picking up on his dialogue, that kind of thing. So the more things that we ingest from not only the internet, but from our daily lives, the more it comes into our brains, and the more we start to recycle these ideas and have it pop up in our thoughts. So that is one thing you can also control. You can control what you consume. I just blew my own mind. You control what you consume. So if you're constantly consuming, even when it comes to food, you know what I mean? Like bad food and bad, you know, like for example, my freaking parents, they watch the news all the time. So they're constantly ingesting all this negative information and negative topics. And the news is important because it's important to know what's going on. But if you're constantly watching this bad stuff happening all around the world, you're gonna think that bad stuff is constantly happening around the world. And that's not the case majority of the time. You know, but if you're constantly surrounding yourself with your own life and just focusing on what's actually happening, like right now I'm focusing on my backyard and there's nothing happening. It's just, there's just cars driving past. It makes it way more peaceful, way more calm. So you can control outside factors when it comes to that and have that linked to your brain. And I'm rambling. So yeah, I think that's all I want to talk about. I think. Yeah, just let go of control, let go of people if you need to, let go of things that don't serve you anymore. Like this past week, I got rid of so many of my clothes, not even because I didn't like them, but because the things that they were associated with just put me in a bad place. Like they were a lot of clothes from my past, you know, that I've had for years and years that I don't really felt like I connected with anymore, or a part of me that did connect with it was from my past, and that's not who I am anymore. And I let go of all those clothes, and let me tell you, like I feel so much different and better as a person. 100%. And when I'm talking about like letting go of things and this whole advice spiel, I'm also talking to myself because again, I have a huge problem with trying to control every aspect of my life. So you shouldn't feel like this is just a you thing. This is like an everybody thing, honestly. I feel like everybody has problems with controlling. People try to control people and try to control outside factors that they can't. And that's just frustrating because you can't control it. So you might as well just let go. So just let go, okay? Just go with the flow. No, but literally you just need to go with the flow. You just need to see what happens. Because the surprise is fun. It's fun. It can be fun if you let it be fun, or it can be stressful and anxiety inducing if you let it be stressful and anxiety inducing. But if you know deep down in yourself that all this is happening for a reason and that you're going through these things for a reason, whether it be to learn or to experience or whatever, you can handle it. So yeah, hopefully this made sense. Because again, I didn't plan, like I didn't have bullet points like I usually do, so it kind of just, you know. But thank you for watching and hope you enjoyed. And yeah, that's it, I guess. Have a good rest of your day, rest of your night, rest of your life. Just chill. Okay, that's horrible advice. Okay, bye.